Hey everyone, welcome to the ending of this trophy guide and walkthrough for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. In this part, we're going to get all the remaining trophies as well as that coveted platinum trophy at the end, so I hope you're ready for that. We're currently at just over 35.5 hours of playtime, which means we'll definitely beat my estimate of 40 hours to get the platinum trophy in this game. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me, and a special thank you to all of our channel members. And now without further ado, let's wrap it up. We just left camp after getting the Luna trophy, and now we're going to get aboard SK and fly up into the sky. We want to turn over toward the right so we're facing toward the east, and we can find a small floating island nearby that has a spiky bottom on it. And on the top of that island is a portal that's going to take us into the painting workshop. We've been to a couple areas like this in the past, and this is the third and final one that we have to come to. Every time we come to one, we get a special item, and now that's all going to culminate in a boss fight and a trophy. So we're going to proceed along the canvases and make our way down to where we can find a young boy NPC. If you listen carefully, you can actually hear the squishing of the paint on these canvases, which I think is a really nice detail. But the sound effect switches when you get to dried paint. Now we're going to use the grapple point to go forward, and here we'll talk to the NPC. A sister's brush, a stroke of fear. The monster she painted, it lives in my night. Jealousy twists and love blinds. Her canvas conjured a nightmare, a creature to keep me awake. We must unmake what she created, for it does not belong here. Will you help me? Say we will. Seek the light within the dark. Her mind is a maze of twisted paths, but her heart knows the way. Farewell. And we get the shape of the beast, which we need in just a moment. Now we're going to run past the young boy over toward the left, and we have a couple more canvases to jump over along the way. If you line yourself up properly with these canvases, you really can just drop off of them, but be careful because you'll roll when you hit the ground and you don't want to accidentally roll off the edge. So aim yourself carefully and you should be able to make it down without too much of a problem. If you happen to fall off, not a big deal, you just have to restart the area and make your way back down again. But this is a much easier jumping puzzle than the Gestral Beach we had to do earlier. Now that we get down to the bottom, we can find a Lamp Master enemy who's all grayed out. Let's talk to it. A statue of a beast. Do you want to use the color of the beast? Say yes. The story of the beast is written. In the depths where shadows sigh, lurks a beast beneath the sky. Still incomplete, its lair closed off. And now we'll talk to it again. A statue of a beast. Do you want to use the shape of the beast? We'll say yes. The story of the beast is written. In the depths where shadows sigh, lurks a beast beneath the sky. Still incomplete, its lair closed off. And talk to it again. A statue of a beast. Do you want to use the light of the beast? Choose yes. The story of the beast is written. All the pieces are in place, and the story will unfold. To banish it, one must be bold. Confront the shadows, seek the artist, find the source. Unravel darkness, break the course. Alright, now we can go past the statue, and there's going to be an expedition flag on the left-hand side, so we can just use this really quick, and then we'll leave the flag and keep going along the path. As we go toward the end, we'll see that there's a grapple point, and we'll use it to go over a gap. Now run up the stairs until we get a scene and a boss fight. Alright, we've got a Lamp Master. These guys are pretty easy, we've dealt with them before. Minoko will begin with Portier Crash. And now Minoko can use Chapelier Slash. If you want to do super big damage, with Maelle, use her first turn to cast Guard Down, or you can simply skip her first turn, and then you can use Last Chance on her second turn. Now with Ciel, we'll use her first turn to use Fortune's Fury on Maelle. And on Ciel's second turn, she's going to use Intervention on Maelle. And finally, Maelle is going to use Stendhal to win the fight. With this monster defeated, we get a new trophy called Noir et Blanc for solving the mystery of the painting workshop, and we also get some good experience as well as some more loot. Starting off, our Pictos at Death Door has been upgraded from level 8 to level 30. We get our Energizing Attack 1 Pictos upgraded from level 7 to level 30. And we also get 3 Grandiose Chroma Catalysts. But there is one more item that we can get in this area, and to get it, all we have to do is to turn around, go back down the stairs, and then use the grapple point to go back over the gap. If we turn toward the left, we can see that Faceless Boy NPC, and we'll talk to him again. The beast is no more. I can sleep again. Dream again. Where shadows fall and monsters flee. In dawn's embrace, the soul sets free. May she never paint her horrors here ever again. And we get a perfect Chroma Catalyst as our reward. Well, we're all done here, so we just have to go to the portal at the nearby canvas, and that will take us back out onto the world map. Now that we're outside, we're going to board Esquier, and we're going to fly up into the air. If we go forward, we can turn slightly toward the left, and we can see a beach below us, and this will take us to another Gestral beach with another minigame, but luckily this one is much easier than some of the past ones that we've had to do. As we enter, we'll proceed forward and stay over toward the right-hand side, where we can see the large Gestral standing in between 2 torches on the way to the monolith, which has a new message written on it from an earlier cutscene. Now let's talk to the Gestral. Welcome to the Gestral race. Let's race. Here we go. Beat the race in under a certain time to receive rewards. 45 seconds for the bronze reward, 41 seconds for the silver reward, and 38 seconds for the gold reward. As the countdown begins, hold down the run button and forward. You want to move forward immediately and stay over toward the right side. Jump a little bit early and hold the jump button every time you jump so that you can get up to the ledge a little bit faster and climb up. Always try to aim for the corners of the platforms too, because they're the closest ones and allow you to climb up a little bit sooner. As you get up toward the very top of this platform, then run forward and jump onto the spinning platforms. They don't throw off your aim too much as you run through here. And then jump to the platform and immediately grab onto the handholds. Go over toward the right side because it is shorter, then run forward, jump, and cross the finish line to get your reward. I did it in under 38 seconds, which is not a bad time for a human, and that earns me a gold medal. That also earns me all of the rewards for the bronze, silver, and gold medals. So the bronze reward is the Resplendent Chroma Catalyst, the silver reward is a Grandiose Chroma Catalyst, and the gold reward is going to be a new swimsuit for Verso. That's all that we have to do in this area, so now we can just turn around and head back out. If you don't happen to get the win on the first try, that's okay, you can do it as many times as necessary. It shouldn't take too many times, hopefully, for you to get that gold reward. And now we'll head back out through the portal and go back to the world map. Now that we're back outside, we're going to once again jump aboard Esquier and then fly into the sky. Let's turn left so that we're facing over toward the east, and we'll go forward going over the little mountain in front of us. On the other side of that mountain, in the middle of the water, is an island, and in the middle of an island is a portal that will take us into our next location. So let's fly over there, and we can use the portal to go into Sinister Cave. This place is very dark, but luckily we do have a bit of a light that will help us go along the way. There is an expedition flag nearby, so use it to rest if you want to, and then we'll continue along the path in front of us. My recommendation for going through this area on the very first time is to stay over toward the right side as much as possible. If you hug that right wall, you'll get to where you need to go. So we'll continue following this right wall, and eventually it's going to take us to a ramp that will lead up, and we can see a grapple point at the end of that ramp. So here we'll turn, here's the ramp, and now we can use the grapple point to go up. Now you might be tempted just to go forward, but unfortunately if you fall off the cliff in front of you, you'll just be back at the entrance. How sinister. So instead we're going to turn around and we're going to use a grapple point behind us where we first come up, and that will take us to another platform. There's a couple paths that you can take here. Just run forward along the path, and you want to try to find a lantern on the ground. That will be the marker that denotes where we have to go next. So here you can see the lantern. We're going to begin by going toward the left path. So turn left at that lantern and then go down the path a little bit. But don't go too far to the left or you'll fall off another cliff. Instead, head toward the right and you can go into this other area that happens to have a hole in the ground. You want to circle around the hole to go toward the other side, and you want it to look like a rectangle where the longer ends are on the right and the left, and the shorter ends are in front of you. It should also be so that the big blue light is forward and toward the left of the way that you're facing. Once you're in this position, then step forward, and you're going to roll into a wall. And that's important because if you came at it from the other way, you'd roll off the ledge and wouldn't be able to pick up the item here, which is another music record that we need. After collecting the music record, fall off the ledge. This is the entry path, so turn toward the right and you'll go back out into the main area. There is a Gestral merchant up top, and his lantern points toward the exit, so we can use that to navigate a little bit later on. But for now, we're going to run forward and just to the left of where that platform is with the Gestral merchant, and if we follow the path around and over toward the left, we're going to find that same ramp with the grapple point. So let's go over there and then use the grapple point to go up again. Now immediately turn around and use the grapple point. Let's keep going forward along the path until we get back to the lantern that tells us which way to go. Here's the lantern. We're going to go very close to the lantern over off on the right edge, and we can just fall off the ledge here and we'll be right by that Gestral merchant. There is a weapon on the ground that we can pick up. This is a new weapon for Ciel called the Quarteron. It has a power of 535, the dark element, and it scales with defense and luck. And this Gestral merchant isn't talkative because it's dead. So now we want to turn around and we want to go forward toward the exit. But we're not leaving just yet. Let's turn toward the right and follow that left wall as it goes around a corner. We'll then go down the hallway in this narrow passage until we get to an intersection. Then turn toward the right and follow the path around. We'll see a large glowing statue, and at the base of that is another new weapon for us. It's called the Elarim. It's a weapon for Lune with the power of 692, the earth element, and it scales with vitality and defense. Now to leave this area, just go forward past the glowing statue until you hit a wall, and then hug that right wall as you go around. This will take you right toward the exit, no problem. There is another weapon for Maelle in this area. All you have to do is to fight a large monster, but he's pretty easy. It's a pretty bad weapon though, so we're not going to worry about getting it, and we're just going to focus on leaving and getting the rest of the trophies that we need. Well, here's the exit hallway. Just run forward, go through the portal, and we'll go back to the world map. Now that we're back to the world map, we'll jump aboard Esquier, fly up into the sky, and then we want to turn toward the left so that we're facing toward the south. We can find a glowing blue dive spot in the water behind the island that we were just on, so let's fly down close to the water and we can pick up another 5 colors of Lumina when prompted. Now we're going to fly up into the sky a little bit further, turn toward the right so we're heading toward the southwest, and we're going to go over some mountains. Once we get to the other side, we can see a bit of a clearing here with some enemies. We can ignore the enemies, but if we get down close to the ground, we can find a new Pictos on the ground called Empowering Dodge. 5% increased damage for each consecutive successful dodge, can stack up to 10 times. Now stay close to the ground as we head toward the south. We'll go through the passageway, and at the intersection, we'll turn toward the left, and that will take us into another area which is kind of cool, called the Endless Night Sanctuary. You can see the portal right over here. Once we're inside the Endless Night Sanctuary, we can go forward and we can use the expedition flag just ahead and on our left. When you're ready, leave the flag and run forward underneath the broken archway in front of you, and you'll get a little bit of dialogue as you go.
See the trees here? They're Gestrals, waiting to be reborn. They're queuing.
Oh.
Keep going through this narrow passageway, and when we get to the other side, then we want to head over toward the right side. We can ignore the enemies in here for the most part. If you're daring, rush off to the side, grab some chroma, and make your escape before the enemy attacks you. Now just keep going forward along the path. This part is optional, but if you want some more story about this area, talk to the large Grandis here. Greetings! Oh my, I've not met an expeditioner in quite some time, or anyone else for that matter. Hello, hello, how wonderful to meet you. A Grandis, what are you doing here? I've been lost in these sunless woods for as long as I can remember. Luckily, I fell in with a rather lively crowd of Gestrals. They welcomed me as one of their own. It helped, I suppose, that I am an engineer by trade and could fix their weapons and sakapatatas. They do so love to fight, which resulted in quite a bit of breakage. Sadly, it also resulted in quite the death toll, and not all of it at the hands of Nevrons. Their zest for a battle sometimes went too far, friendly fire and all that, or maybe unfriendly fire. And though my Gestral friends could resurrect, the death toll grew so high that it overwhelmed the queue at the Sacred River. They were all my friends, and they kept dying and resurrecting, losing their memory of me each time. It broke my heart, it did. I couldn't bear it anymore, so I went to Golgra for help. That was perhaps not the best idea. Golgra's solution was rather severe. Golgra decided to kill every Gestral here and plant their bodies in the ancient sanctuary. I believe they're still there now, awaiting their turn at the river. That must be hard. Such is the Gestral way. And just like that, I lost all my friends. It's a lonely, albeit more peaceful life these days. Anyway, I have worked tirelessly on improving their sakapatata to properly honor their memory. If you find them walking around, feel free to fight them. After all, this is what my friends would have wanted. Now we can turn toward the right and go along the path. If you want to, you can fight the enemies in this area, and there's even an item behind one at the end of this pathway, but we really don't need that item, so I'm just going to skip it. Instead, turn toward the left and then immediately go into this little alcove on the right to get a very important Pictos called Gradient Break, plus 50% of a gradient charge on breaking a target. And we can use this to get a trophy in just a moment. So let's go into our character menu and then over to Minoko. We're going to look at his equipped Pictos, and I'm going to remove the exposing break Pictos that he has in the middle, and I'm going to replace it with our new Pictos called the Gradient Break. Also, make sure that you have the Jar Lamp Storm skill equipped onto Minoko, because we're going to use it to help us get the next trophy. So once we confirm that that skill is in place and we've got the right Pictos equipped, let's go ahead and leave this menu, and then we can leave this little alcove. Turn toward the right, and then take a right at the next intersection. We'll go through this little crawl space, and then keep going forward. At the intersection, turn toward the right and follow the path forward. Now we'll turn left at the end of the road, and then left at the next intersection, and that will take us to another expedition flag that we want to use very briefly. And once you're ready, then leave the expedition flag and continue along the path going under this overhang, and you're going to go into an open area for a short scene followed by a fight. Let's begin by having Minoko use his standard Portiere Crash. That's going to break all the enemies, and it's going to really fill up our gradient charge bar. In fact, after that one attack, we have 2 out of 3 gradient charges. Now to get the remaining one, we're going to use the Jar Lamp Storm skill. Now with Maelle, we'll press R2 to open up the gradient attack menu, and we want to choose Gamage, the level 3 skill, which can kill weak targets, otherwise deals extreme void damage 1 time, and we'll aim it right at the ultimate sack patata. That will give us the Chroma Proficiency trophy for using a level 3 gradient attack, and we did almost 16 million damage with that one attack. And then to finish up the fight, just have Maelle use Phantom Strike and the enemies are defeated, but watch out because they do have that final attack, so they'll just come and try to crash into us, so go ahead and dodge that and the fight will be over. After the fight, we'll get our rewards. Minoko got enough experience to get up to level 92, and we also get some more loot. In particular, we got 3 Grandiose Chroma Catalysts, and there's a potential to get a recoat as well. Now we'll turn toward the right and follow the path forward until we get to a very small crawl space that we want to crawl through. So here we go, we just have to get down and then make our way toward the other side. And now we can run forward and we'll see another expedition flag just ahead of us and on the left. So we can stop in here real quick and use it, and then we can leave the expedition flag. As you proceed forward, stay over toward the right side. There's some enemies roaming around in this area, but we can just ignore them. Look for some rocks with some white markings on them, and then go in between those rocks to continue along the path. We'll go through a very small crawl space, and then keep going up the path, and you can see a large chromatic crueler enemy at the top. Let's go ahead and fight him really fast.
Not leaving you behind.
Let's have Minoko begin by using Portiere Crash. And now he's going to use Chapelier Slash. Maelle doesn't need any more setup, just use Stendhal to win. After the battle, we'll collect our rewards, and we also get some pretty good loot as well from this fight. We get our Crueler Ram weapon upgraded from level 15 to level 26. We also get a new Pictos called Quick Break, play again on breaking a target. We get 2 Grandiose Chroma Catalysts, and we get 5 colors of Lumina. Now we can go forward just a few steps and look over toward the left where we can find a passageway. Let's go through that all the way to the end. And once we drop off a ledge, you can go over toward the left-hand side to grab a quick color of Lumina before we continue along the journey.
Nice.
Now turn back toward the right and we can climb up some ledges. Proceed forward and go over toward the right side so that we can find another Gestral merchant that we want to fight. Didn't expect to see humans here, and alive as well. Choose trade, and then we want to fight the merchant. And we'll choose Maelle as our expeditioner. With Maelle's first turn, we're going to use Last Chance.
The dance begins.
And with Maelle's second turn, we'll use Phantom Strike to win. The enemy on the right does have a final attack. We've got shields, so you can just stand there, or you can dodge it if you prefer. Then after the fight, we get a little bit of experience, as well as one Grandiose Chroma Catalyst. But more importantly, we now get access to the Gestral Merchant's full inventory. So let's choose trade, and we want to go down and look at his options toward the bottom of the list. Most of the items are pretty expensive and we just don't have the chroma to buy them all, but we do want to buy Powerful Shield, which gives a 10% increased damage per shield point on self. And because a normal build with Maelle gives us 6 shields, that's an additional 60% damage just by equipping this one Pictos. So let's go ahead and purchase Powerful Shield, and then we want to open up our character menu and we want to choose Maelle so that we can equip this on her right away. We're going to go into her Pictos menu, and we don't need the Sniper Pictos anymore, so I'm going to replace Sniper with the new Powerful Shield Pictos that we just picked up. And with that done, we can then leave the menu, and we're pretty much done with this area. Let's turn around and start running into the distance so that we can find a golden rope that will take us down. Now keep going forward along the path and stay over toward the left side. We can then just hop off this ledge, turn toward the right, and we can find the expedition flag in front of us. Let's go ahead and use the expedition flag, and then we want to go down to the bottom option to choose go back to the continent, and we will return to the world map. We're very close to the last lost Gestral that we need to collect. So on SK, you want to go up into the air just a little bit, but proceed along the path in front of us. So we can ignore the enemies in this area, but just beyond them on the right hand side is going to be a small green looking flower, and that's actually the last lost Gestral. So we'll talk to him and we'll choose to send him back to Sastro, and as soon as we do that, then we're going to get to our next trophy, which is called Lost Gestrals, for collecting all 9 of the Lost Gestrals. After that, we can turn around and we want to start traveling over toward the northwest. If we fly high into the sky, we can then go over the mountaintops, and we're going to make our way toward the water on the other side. And here you can see another diving spot, so let's go down close to the water and we can collect yet another 5 colors of Lumina when prompted.
Great.
If we turn toward the right, we can see the final Gestral beach on this island, so let's go over there and we can interact with the portal. But this Gestral beach also has another hidden surprise to it, and that's going to be another one of those expedition journals. So as soon as you get inside this Gestral beach, turn toward the right and you can find the expedition journal on the ground right by the burning torch. Let's have a listen to this one.
Law, 37th Expedition. Should I feel guilty for enjoying what's left of my life? Should I feel guilty for abandoning the others when the expedition was so clearly doomed? Nobody listened to me. Apparently getting slaughtered by Nevrons or this white-haired man is an appealing future for them all. At least I had fun here. I didn't realize how quickly time has passed. The Gamage is tomorrow. I've been trying to overcome this Gestrals challenge for months now, but it seems even more of a challenge than defeating the Paintress. I guess I'll never see the Gestrals grand prize. That's my only regret in life.
After getting the journal for Expedition 37, we want to turn over toward the left, and we can see a large wall with some blue balls falling down. As we approach it, the camera is going to shift, which can be a little bit disorienting, but I'll explain kind of how this minigame works. There's going to be balls randomly falling down from the sky, and what we have to do is to climb up all the way toward the top of this without getting hit by one of those blue balls, which will send us back down to the ground. Now it seems to me that the balls fall more in the middle and on the left hand side of the handholds, which means that the handholds on the right are relatively safer to climb. So we're just going to study the pattern a little bit, and once we see a few of them come down on the right side, we figure that they're not going to come down that often anymore, and that will give us a good indication that we can start climbing up the rightmost column. But bear in mind that the end of this course is actually in the middle. There's only one handhold at the very top, but it's in the middle, so we've got to pay attention to that. As you go up, be careful and just move over toward the left as necessary, and then hop back over toward the right to dodge any of the blue balls that are coming down on the right hand side. And once you get to the top, like I said, move toward the middle and get up, and you should be done in no time. Then head over and talk to the Grandis. Someone made it here. Color me impressed. You are the second expeditioner who managed to climb this wall. Who were the others? I think it was someone from Expedition 60, but they refused my reward. They said they would never wear any clothes. But you seem to enjoy clothes. Perhaps you'll enjoy this. We get the Gestral Games trophy for completing all of the Gestral Beach minigames. We get a new swimsuit for Maelle, and the Grandis says, I found it in an old farmhouse along a cliff. It's so soft and pretty, looking at it made me happy. I hope wearing it makes you happy too. Thank you, that's very kind. It's not quite my size anyway. Now let's turn around and we can hop off the ledge and go all the way back down to the ground, which would normally break every bone in her body, but Maelle's excellent at parkour and rolls through the landing, and we're good to go to run forward and go back into the portal, which will take us back out onto the world map. We're now going to make quite a long trip all the way back to the Gestral village, so let's hop onto Esquier, fly high into the sky, and then turn toward the left so that we're facing directly toward the south. And we're going to start going along until we can see the bent Eiffel Tower in the distance, so we'll start flying over in that direction. As we go, we're also going to see the flying casino on the right hand side. We want to use that as kind of a marker for where to turn slightly. So go close to the flying casino and then turn slightly toward the right, and we're going to keep going forward. We can see the dark Gestral arena floating above the land, and just to the left of that is going to be some red trees. And amongst all these red trees is going to be the Gestral village, so let's head on inside. From the entrance, we're going to start running forward along the path until we get outside of the chief's house. Now turn toward the right and continue to follow the path. Eventually, you're going to come to a sign that says turn back. Once we get to that sign, go through the nearby opening, and we're going to go up the path, and that will take us to a door that leads to the manor. Let's go through the door and then return to the manor. Immediately upon entering, turn around to go back through the door, and that takes you to the entryway. Go up the stairs and then slightly toward the right to find an empty canvas frame. We're going to interact with it, and we'll see that the frame is empty. Place the Desandra family portrait into the frame. We'll say yes. And the Desandra family portrait rests within the frame. A door opens. To go through that new door, head down the stairs toward your left, and then forward through the dining hall all the way to the other side. We'll go through the newly opened door, and straight ahead of us is going to be another expedition journal that we should listen to.
People come and people go. The one who will always be there for you is you. Little one, there's more to life if you can just see how big the sky truly is. Reach out your hand, and it's yours.
After getting Journal Unknown, on the right side is going to be an item on the ground, so go over to the corner and we can pick up a new outfit for Maelle. And that's it for the manor. Let's turn around and leave this room, and then we want to go straight through the dining hall until we reach the entrance area again. Now we'll simply go down the stairs in front of us and use the exit door to return to where we were before. We're now back in the Gestral village, and we want to retrace our steps by running forward and going down the path. Go over toward the left and continue following the path until we get back out in front of the chief's house once again. We'll see the Gestral Bazaar sign straight ahead of us, so let's run over there and we can get 20 more colors of Lumina if we talk to the Gestral who's collecting the expedition journals. He's the big white and blue one on the other side of the counter. So we'll talk to him and we will get our 20 colors of Lumina as a reward. There is a bit of dialogue here where Barami tells you about Moshi, who is waiting for his chance to be resurrected at the Sacred River, which we've learned a lot about in the last few episodes. So once we get those 20 colors of Lumina, we're all done with this area. So turn toward the left, run forward until you get to the main street, then turn right and go down the path until we can go through the portal and go back out onto the world map. Once we're outside, we want to get aboard SK and then fly up into the sky. We'll turn around so that we're facing toward the north, and we want to start flying forward toward the monolith in the distance. As we go, we'll cross over the forgotten battlefield, and we'll keep going forward until we can reach some water on the other side. Now if you look into the distance, you'll see Siren's Coliseum with all the statues on top, and just before that is going to be an island in the water. We want to go toward the north side of that island to find a beach with some deflated hot air balloons, and amongst those balloons is going to be another Gestral merchant who sells us the last music record that we have to collect for a trophy. So go ahead and talk to the Gestral merchant, choose trade, and then purchase the Robe de Jour music record for 1000 Chroma. As soon as you do, you should get the Connoisseur trophy pop up for collecting all of the music records. But this is a little misleading because we've only collected 32 out of 33 music records. There's one more in the final area that we're about to go to, and I'll show you where that is just in case. But I will quickly preview that we've collected all of the expedition journals aside from one of them, and we also have 32 out of 33 of the music records in our inventory. It's actually under quest items, so if you need to pause it, they're all in alphabetical order here as we go through. And so if you didn't get that Connoisseur trophy, then make sure that you verify which of these music records you do not have in your inventory. So if you're missing one of those expedition journals or one of the music records, let me know down in the comment which one you're missing, and I'll try to help you figure it out. Now what we want to do is to fly over toward the west in the direction of the Visaged Island with the large faces, and there's going to be a portal above the water which will take us into Renoir's drafts. This is the final area of the game, and we'll spend a little bit of time here as we get the remaining trophies that we need for that platinum trophy.
We're below the monolith, where he was sealed.
Careful.
As we come to our first expedition flag, we want to use it to change some things up with our party. Let's go down to upgrade weapons first. We'll go over to Maelle, and we currently have the Secrum weapon at level 33, but we want to get the Medallum weapon also up to level 33. We should have plenty of materials to do that at this point. So now that we have a maxed out Medallum, we want to go to the Upgrade Expedition resources, and we're going to give Maelle a whole bunch of Lumina points until she gets up to 500 Lumina points. Now we actually have way more colors of Lumina than what we need at this point, so you can go above and beyond that, but I would say 500 is the minimum that you want to give her. You do not need to give any points to any of our other party members. Now we're going to leave the expedition flag, and we want to open up the character menu. We'll go over to Maelle and we'll see what she's equipped with. I gave her the Medallum weapon, which is now at level 33. For her Pictos, she has Powerful Shield, Cheater, and Auto Powerful. Maelle also has a lot of Luminas equipped, so let's go through that list. We'll sort it by active and then go through them alphabetically. Accelerating Last Stand, Aegis Revival, At Death's Door, Augmented Aim, Augmented First Strike, Auto Powerful is equipped, Auto Rush, Auto Shell, Breaking Death, Burn Affinity, Burning Death, Charging Critical, Charging Stun, Cheater is equipped, Confident Fighter, Critical Burn, Critical Moment, Critical Stun, Dead Energy 1, Dead Energy 2, Double Mark, Empowering Last Stand, Energizing Start 1, Energizing Start 2, Energizing Start 3, Energizing Start 4, Energizing Turn, Energy Master, First Offensive, First Strike, Full Strength, Glass Cannon, Greater Defenseless, Greater Powerful, Immaculate, In Medias Res, Inverted Affinity, Last Stand Critical, Longer Powerful, Painted Power, Piercing Shot, Powerful on Shell, Powerful Revive, Powerful Shield is equipped, Protecting Last Stand, Rewarding Mark, Second Chance, Shield Affinity, Sniper, Solidifying, Solo Fighter, Stay Marked, Stun Boost, Tainted, Teamwork, and Warming Up. We do not have Auto Death equipped, and that's very important to save us a lot of time as we do our next big task. Let's go ahead and leave this menu, and then we want to use the Expedition flag one more time, and we'll choose Upgrade Attributes. Because we changed Maelle's weapon, we also should change her attributes to make it stronger. So go ahead and use a recoat to reset the attributes. We'll give her 99 points into Defense, 99 points into Agility, and we're going to give her all the remaining points into Might. Once that's done, we can now leave this expedition flag entirely, and we'll continue along the path over on the left. As we run down the ramp, when we get to the bottom, we want to turn sharply toward the left and kind of circle back on the way that we came. There's going to be a grapple point that takes us up on top of a building, and after we get to the top, go forward along the path and drop off the right-hand side, and you can see another item inside the statue's mouth. That's actually going to be the last of the music records called Endless Night, so now we actually do have all 33 of them. And now turn around, and if you want to, you can go over toward the other large statue in the distance. There's going to be a couple enemies on the way, and we can just fight them quickly, and then we can get an upgrade to our Pictos behind it. Starting off, we're going to have Minoko use Portier Crash. And now Minoko will use Chapelier Slash. Finally, Maelle will use Phantom Strike to kill all the enemies. Once they're gone, we'll get enough experience for Ciel to get to level 92, and we also get a big upgrade to our Contorsa weapon, going from level 16 to level 31. We get 3 colors of Lumina. We get 3 Grandiose Chroma Catalysts. And we get 1 Recoat. Now go forward into the mouth of the statue and we can see the upgrade to our Pictos called a Quick Break. It goes from level 25 to level 31. Now turn around and we're going to run back up the ramp behind us. Once we get up to the top, then we can hop off the ledge and go back down into this narrow path. Stay over toward the left side as you go and you won't have to fight any of the enemies in this area. Just keep hugging that left wall and make your way over toward the left. Now we can run up a ramp, and at the top of the ramp on the right hand side is going to be another NPC that we can talk to for a little bit more story. So let's go over here and talk to him just for fun. Aline and I, we used to understand each other. Both of us lived for the process of creation more so than the product. Capturing the essence of an idea, half-formed, nebulous, teetering on the edge of existence, shaping it into being. But she's changed. She no longer cares for the act of painting, only what her painting can achieve, and she will drive herself mad trying to paint what is unpaintable. She's not mad, she's struggling with grief. Not much daylight between the two. I live it every day. It's why I paint. The process helps me make sense of the chaos and find my bearings. Every painting is proof that I have not surrendered to despair, but it's no longer the same for her. Aileen. It's pretty obvious that that guy is Renoir, talking about his relationship with his wife Aileen, the paintress. If we're good, then we can dodge these enemies by weaving in between them, and then we'll continue along down the path on the right. As we go down this ramp, we'll see another couple enemies in front of us, but we can ignore them if we stay over toward the left side. The next group of enemies is pretty tough to dodge, though you can try to jump up on the ramp behind them, but sometimes you might get stuck and have to fight them anyway. Not a big deal though, because we can actually get a bit of an upgrade if we fight these guys. We'll have Minoko start by using Portier Crash. Now Minoko will use Chapelier Slash. And finally, Maelle can use Phantom Strike to win. After the fight, we get a lot of experience as well as some loot. We get 2 colors of Lumina, 2 grandiose Chroma Catalysts, 1 recoat, and our second chance Pictos gets upgraded from level 16 to level 31. Now turn left and we're going to run up the ramp and we're going to use the grapple point to go up on top of the building. There's a Gestral Merchant up here, and over on the left is going to be a grandiose Chroma Catalyst. Now let's talk to that Gestral Merchant. Being a merchant is not my usual gig, but I was looking to train my core. You want to be a merchant? You gotta get jacked. Choose trade, and now we want to fight this merchant, and we'll use Maelle. This is a really fast fight because we don't have to die and be resurrected, and we're already in virtual stance, so use Phantom Strike to win immediately. After the fight, we get quite a bit of experience, over 2 million for that one fight, and we also get some good rewards, including our shortcut Pictos being upgraded from level 16 to level 31, and we get a color of Lumina every time we win this fight, as well as a grandiose Chroma Catalyst, and you can also get recoats as well. Now there's a lot of stuff in here that's very expensive and we don't need any of it, but if you want to, you can also purchase 30 colors of Lumina for 1000 Chroma each. However, like I said, you get a color of Lumina every time you win against this enemy. So what we want to do is just to keep fighting him over and over again to earn a lot of experience. And you can see when you try to go really fast, you can complete this battle in all of 7 seconds. so it makes it pretty quick to go through this whole process. In fact, from the time that you start a battle to starting the next battle should only be about 17 seconds if you really focus. So what I want to do now is just get Maelle up to full health, so I'm going to use one of my Chroma elixirs, something that we really haven't used at all throughout this playthrough, and that will get us up to full health for all of our characters. And now I also want to make a quick Pictos change. I'm up to level 94 with Maelle. It only took a couple minutes to get to that point, and I'm going to remove the At Death's Door Pictos as well as the Dead Energy 1 Pictos. That frees up a few Lumina points so that we can add on Powered Attack, so that we're going to do a little bit more damage. So if you're struggling with damage, this is a good way to do that because we don't need those other Pictos right now. We really just want Powered Attack. And we're going to keep on fighting this merchant a bunch of times over and over again. It probably takes about 15 minutes or so of just dedicated fighting, using that Phantom Strike as soon as possible. And when you're done getting all of your experience and getting up to level 99, you'll get the Survivor Trophy. And now that we're at level 99, we are very much ready to take on the final challenge of the game and get that Platinum Trophy. Now let's leave the Gestral Merchant and we'll turn around. We want to go over toward the edge of the building on our right, and then we can drop down off the building. Proceed forward and over toward the right in between two statues to find a ramp that will take us up to another expedition flag. Now before using the expedition flag, we can go into our character menu. We'll choose Maelle's Lumina menu, and we want to give her 2 Luminas. We want to scroll down, and we're going to give her At Death's Door, and we can give her Auto Death. Now when the battle begins, Maelle will die and be resurrected, and that means that she'll get a lot of buffs along the way too. We don't need to change up her weapon at all. I think the medallion works just fine. The final enemy that we have to fight does not have any shields, so we don't need the Saccharum to bypass those shields. Let's just stick with the medallion, and that way we don't have to change our attribute points anymore either. Though if you want to assign her a few more attribute points because she's at level 99 now, feel free to do that, but we're not going to worry about it. Now that we're ready, we're going to leave the expedition flag and go up the ramp and into the portal. This will take us into a new area called the Abyss. Let's start by running forward, and we just have to go through this linear pathway. We'll go through a bit of a crawl space until it opens up, and we'll just keep going forward.
Maybe we should turn back. I sense something powerful down this path.
Let's go.
Once you get to the end, just drop off and let yourself fall down. When you land at the bottom, turn over toward the right, and you should be able to see a figure in the middle of the area as well as an expedition flag over on the right side. Let's go over and use the expedition flag really quickly, and then when we're ready, we can leave the flag, and we want to go over toward the man in the middle, and as we approach him, we'll get a cutscene.
These swords. They look like the ones in old Lumina.
Ah, so he's the one who felled the Exxon.
Simon.
You know him?
He's an old friend of mine. We joined Expedition Zero together. He disappeared and I thought... Looks like you met Clair.
We'll begin the battle against Simon by having Minoko use Portier Crash. And now Minoko can use Chapelier Slash. With Maelle's first turn, you can either cast Guard Down or just skip it, and on her second turn, then you want to use Last Chance. With Ciel's first turn, we're going to use Fortune's Fury on Maelle. And on Ciel's second turn, we're going to use Intervention on Maelle.
I can do it.
And now Maelle will use Stendhal to win the fight. But the battle's not over there because we get a cutscene in round 2.
My love, these foes are beneath you. You who have fought heaven and earth and subdued giants. To find me, to free me from her grasp. Would you fall now to the likes of them? While your oath remains unfulfilled, rise. Your enemies await.
Round 2 is just like round 1, have Minoko use Portier Crash. And now Minoko can use Chapelier Slash. On Maelle's first turn, you can either cast Guard Down or just skip the turn, and on the second turn, use Last Chance.
Last chance.
With Ciel's first turn, we'll use Fortune's Fury on Maelle. And on Ciel's second turn, we'll use Intervention on Maelle. And now we'll end the fight by having Maelle use Stendhal. After the battle, we get the Peace at Last trophy for defeating Simon. And we'll get a follow-up cutscene. After the fight, we get a new powerful weapon for Versa called the Simoso with a power of 3,228, and the light element is scales with vitality and agility. We also get 50 colors of Lumina, and we get 2 perfect chroma catalysts. Now let's go forward and we can listen to the nearby expedition journal for Simon.
Simon. More and more of my mind is fading away. I must put my words down on paper before I lose myself entirely. My beautiful Clair. What did she do to you? That paintress. She fooled me. She looked so much like you, and I believed her story. She granted me the power to fell the axons and enter the monolith. I realized too late that she had warped my mind. That she had in fact taken you away, locked you somewhere I could never reach, and set me on a path to destroy your future. But then I met Aline, who showed me that I could save you. With her help, I descended to the bottom of the monolith, where Aline had sealed him away. The one who brings the Gamache. The one who threatens our very existence. But his powers are strong, and I'm finding it harder and harder to fight his influence over my mind. My mind is breaking. My final thoughts are only a few. I despair. But one day, our suffering will end, and we will find our way back to each other. In this life, or another.
And at this point, we get the Follow the Trail trophy for collecting all of the expedition journals, and we get the Platinum trophy called the Greatest Expedition in History. And it looks like Maelle's so happy that she can hardly contain herself and her legs just twitch wildly. Well, there's a couple more things that I want to point out before we conclude here. If you want to leave this area and keep playing the game, there is the expedition flag in the distance. And if you want to fight Simon again, all you have to do is to interact with his glowing sword and you can choose to fight him. This is a great way to test out other builds and see just how strong you've become, or try other strategies. Well, my friends, that's it. We've gotten all of the trophies and achievements in Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and we have that new Platinum trophy to prove it. I really hope that you enjoyed this series of videos, and if you did, please take a moment to hit that like button. It really does help me out. And if you want to see more guides and videos like this, then please consider hitting that subscribe button to join our amazing community. We'd love to have you. If you have any requests or suggestions for other games and series you'd like me to cover, please let me know down in the comments, and I hope to see you soon in another adventure. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.